UN agencies are currently struggling to distribute aid at the pace that Israel is inspecting it. That's why yesterday the Kerem Shalom crossing was closed at the request of the United Nations due to logistical constraints on the Gazan side of the crossing, and we hope that the UN will now do a better job of clearing that backlog.
All right, let's bring in Dr. Margaret Harris, who is the spokesperson for the World Health Organization, and joins us now. Dr. Harris, many thanks for talking to us. We heard some strong words there, some fairly robust words, I think it's fair to say, from Mr. Levy. Can I just ask you for your response initially to that?
The big issue really, yes, getting the trucks across the border is important. I mean, since October 7, we've only been able to get 55 trucks of medical aid. And remember that the normal amount of trucks to come in with everything, not just medical aid, is 500 per day. So you can see that that's just a trickle. But the most critical thing is, how do you get it to the people who need it once you're inside Gaza? Now, we are sending missions to the most dangerous parts where there's bombardment, shelling, shooting all the time in the north and in the center. And we find that what we're bringing is useful, but what people desperately need is simply food. So one of the struggles we're now having is people jumping onto the trucks, pulling open the boxes, just looking for food. They are now so desperate that whatever you bring in is simply not enough.
Dr. Harris, are we at the point now where the WHO should be considering bringing food in amongst its medical supplies? Very clearly, as you say, that is the most pressing need. We heard a moment ago that Palestinians consider themselves to now be starving to death as well as being bombed to death. At what point do we need to move everything towards this idea that food and that hungry children, as we're seeing in those images just now, need to be the ones that are prioritised here?
You're absolutely right, and we are. So we're working with the partners who bring the food in, and we are now sending, when we plan a mission, we look at making sure that food goes. In fact, we did a mission with the World Kitchens initiative. So they actually brought kitchens to Al Shifa Hospital so that they could cook food. And we also bring fuel in so that it can fuel the cooking. So indeed, getting food, because this is a basic need. You know, you're not going to have any health if you're starving. So it is very much part of what has to happen. But the most important thing, the only thing that's going to fix this is a ceasefire. Remember, this is a man-made disaster. This isn't an earthquake. This isn't a tsunami. This is something man is doing to man, and man can stop it right now. There is no need for this to continue, and it should stop right now.
Dr. Harris, the WHO, is it out of options yet? It certainly sounds like you think this is no longer something that your organisation can resolve without some significant progress on the political front.
Well, we will always do everything we can to try to protect health and enable people to achieve the best health. But we are looking at a population that's starving, a population that doesn't have clean water, a population that's living in vile, overcrowded, disgusting conditions, disgusting, lack of sanitation, having to defecate on the ground and then live in what they are doing there. And when we go to the hospitals, my colleagues say you can't walk in anywhere because you will step on someone, and that someone will be bleeding to death on the floor. So without genuine humanity, stop this talk, this nonsense about military objectives. We now have to talk about humanity and simply stop these hostilities.
Of course, and the question of how we do that remains elusive as ever. Dr. Margaret Harris there from the World Health Organization. Many thanks.
Thank you.
Well, meanwhile, Israeli